Welcome to MUU's discussion series, which is part of Art Fair Finland concept. My name is Minka Heino, and I acted as an interviewer. I talked to two artists for 45 minutes about art and how to make it. And artists are, please, Siina. Like your name and what kind of art are you currently making, please?
Thank you, Minka. I'm Siina Levonoja. I'm visual artist and ceramist. And I make sculpture, installations, and performative works. And yeah.
Thank you. Sounds very good. And Parsa, same question for you, please.
Yes, thank you. It's Parsa Kamehkhosh, and my main medium currently is performance art. And of course, I try to kind of and then gradually shifted to sculpting, and then again from that to performance art. So somehow I'm trying to combine all this background in the new medium. So that's what I'm currently basically working on in my practice.
What do you do there?
I have an installation which is developing day by day. And I started. It started when I had a packet of 10 kilos of clay, and I started to build a clay pot. And then when the clay finished, I needed to stop, and I put the pot into the sink, and I threw some water inside the pot. And then I needed to wait for that the pot will get back to kind of liquid clay when the water gets into the pot and into the clay. And after that, I needed to try it on the plaster table so that I will get the extra water out of it, so that I can start making a pot again. And I am in this. It's kind of a process where I start again and over again.
Yes, it's really interesting. Yes. And Parsa, same question. Could you tell us something about your art piece in MUUn?
Sure. Well, the title of the piece is Saturdays, and basically what I'm showing at MUUn is a documentation of a durational performance piece that I did in 2021, which was about meeting 5 strangers, each for 16 hours, starting from 8 in the morning until midnight. And well, I designed a kind of a structure in order to be able to have a kind of social interaction with a stranger in Finland. And do you want me to go through like the process, or is it enough as introduction?
Please, the process. It's very interesting. Yeah. Okay,
so how I started was that I published an announcement in an Helsinki Sanomat newspaper, and it was there for 3 days. And in the announcement, I asked basically for 5 Finnish volunteers who are basically willing to take part in a durational performance with me. And there were some conditions for that. Simple conditions. First, that they're Finnish, and second is that they're able to communicate in English. And so I wanted them to basically register on my website and then we go out together and spend 16 hours of a day. And then they could register on my website, and the idea was that I had to go out with the very first 5 people who managed to register. So it was not like that I was in the position of choosing among the volunteers, but I just wanted it to be like that. I put myself kind of in an extreme social situation. At least for me, it was an extreme social situation. And then when I managed to basically find these 5 people, then we set a date and we started planning the day. I met each of these beautiful people 8 in the morning. And the idea was that, I wanted to experience this as something that is only between us, and then make a documentation of that, and then show it basically as in the context of an exhibition. And for that, I thought of 2 photos, one at 8 in the morning and one at midnight when we are about to basically say goodbye. And the other means of documentation was that throughout the day, I had to be, of course, present with that person as much as I can, and then collect some objects and some highlights of the day in order to be able to basically narrate the story of the day.
Could you tell us some story or example of meeting with someone?
Well, yeah, of course.
There
were so many stories, but one of them, maybe one of the most interesting ones, was the day, maybe if I remember correctly, was the 4th one when I met Topias, and it was a kind of problematic day in a sense that we had so many misunderstandings. He's a very nice guy. He bared with me, but we had a misunderstanding about the actual location that we were going to meet at 8 in the morning. It was my bad. He was somewhere else, and I was somewhere else. So we had to re-communicate and then find each other. And then when the photographer, Aman, he was with me, we wanted to take the first photo 8 in the morning, which was 8:15 in this specific case. We realized that there's something wrong with the camera, so we cannot actually use the photographer's camera. And then I figured out that Topias is himself a photographer, and he always carries his own analog camera. So I took it as a chance, and of course I thought that can be an interesting experience. We used his camera, and more interestingly, there was only one negative left in the film in that analog camera, and basically Aman had only one chance to take that photo, which make the day even more interesting. All these things that happen. So here I presented the photos, and you see the quality of the first photo in the morning, since it's an analog one, is quite different. And also you see the negative of the photo at the exhibition.
Wow. Okay, what kind of feedback did you get from the people who get involved in this project? Could you tell us something? Sorry?
From the participants or
from the participants, yes.
Well, one thing that I could basically understand is that all of these people who were willing to take part in the exhibition, in this durational performance, are adventurous people. So they were willing to do something that might sound a little bit crazy. They wanted to experience new things. So that's the main thing, basically. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I cannot really, how to say it? because I wanted to somehow find my connection to the Finnish society in a performative way and in a somehow even funny way.
Yeah.
Same way. But then the criteria of the performance, the structure that I designed for the performance was in a way that only adventurous people could feel comfortable to get in. So I cannot really basically judge like generalize any of the qualities that I understood from these 5 people.
Okay.
But I could sense that there is one common characteristic between all of them, and that is being adventurous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure. Yeah. Thank you, Parsa. Really nice. And Siina, could you tell me about the way you work? Where does your work start from and how it goes when you work in your workroom? What is it?
My studio.
Studio. Yeah.
Well, usually I have quite many projects going on at the same time.
Okay.
And often my workday might include 3 projects.
Okay.
And I'm switching between them usually. Well, I'm switching between them because usually the clay makes the rhythm for my day. If I work in sculpture or installations that I use ceramics. So usually clay needs to be dried or it needs to get stronger. The sculpture, the shape needs to get stronger. So it needs to dry a little bit so that before I can continue. Or I need to wait for the kiln so that the firing will be ready.
Yeah.
And also when I open the kiln, I need to wait so that the things will be not that hot anymore, so that I can off. And there's a lot of these kind of phases that there's some kind of just waiting time. So if I would do only one project, then it would take ages.
Yeah.
All the phases. So that's why it's quite natural that I work with many projects. So at one time I may be making some sculpture, and then on the next hour I might do some sketches about how to install some kind of a installation on the wall.
Okay.
Or so. And I usually have my computer at my studio as well, so that I can do also some paperwork during between the physical work.
Yeah.
That's the rhythm of the days. And I don't have any special work times.
Okay.
I think it's also because the projects are always so different. The processes are so different, so it is they kind of the processes, and they kind of lead my kind of timetable. So sometimes I might not have anything to do before afternoon, and then I have to start, and sometimes I maybe need to go to studio to open the kiln at very late at evening, and then it's really not really any office times. But I wish that I'm dreaming about routines, and I wish that I could have this kind of timetable that I will have a work times every day, and I could have weekends free.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
But I find it really difficult to manage by myself. Yeah, because I need to be my own boss. So it's
I understand. Yeah. And how about you, Parsa? How do you work?
Well, it depends. I also work on multiple projects at the same time. But for now, I don't really have my own studio, and actually, I would love to have that, but I don't really need it because most of the things that I'm working on can be considered as performance pieces. So basically, all I need is just my brain, and I think I have that wherever I go. So I just need to think, and I'm planning for a long-term series of live performances in 2024. So I'm planning that at the moment. Some live performances that will be happening in the city in Helsinki, probably. But the plan is that I'm trying to basically do more live actions for the next year. But at the same time, as I said, since my background is in design and making objects, I always have a project that has something to do with building and designing objects when working with materials. In these cases, usually I rent a corner of a wood workshop or a metal workshop, so I can work with builders. And then I usually basically put these objects in the context of my performances, and they kind of define the score of these live actions.
Okay.
That's how I usually work.
Yes. Yes. Different kind of ways. Yeah. How nice. Yes. At MUU's exhibition, we showed the audience the process of making art. You know, we tried to. And it was new and therefore a bit strange, I think, for both of the artists and the viewers. We made our works in front of the audience. And what do you think about that, Siina? Could you tell us something about working like this? When we, front of the audience. Yes, we showed the process, how it goes.
Yeah, and also we had this live or the
True.
stream.
Yeah.
It was also something new for me to be in front of the camera so long time, like an hour. Yeah, I kind of for me the performative working is something that I do have some kind of a script, but I usually I'm half in some kind of a role, and half of me is just authentic myself. So I talk with the audience and the people, and I'm happy to tell about the artwork and talk about it, but at the same time I am acting something or presenting something.
Yes.
And yeah, for me the making a performance, it's more like opening my artistic work and the process. It's more like opening what I am doing, and less some kind of a action or some kind of a theater show, or like some kind of this kind of a planned performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have done one project before this as well, where I was acting, or I was working in the gallery, and the audience could see what I was doing, and I found it, as it was here as well, that I found it really inspiring that when I work, people can ask questions and they can tell what they have in mind, and I feel that I usually get the best ideas and kind of best conclusions and thoughts when I talk with people and when I am in the conversation with the people. So it is really it gives a lot to have these talks with the audience. And I usually also here I have already had many plans about the new artworks, and also how could I develop this one in future, and this kind of it's really it feels really nice when some person comes and looks at what I do, and then she might just tell give me some poet or some kind of this kind of link, and then I could have a new idea through that. So
yes, it's better than a flower.
Yes.
When you get some ideas. Yeah.
It's a really big gift. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice. Yes. We have had wonderful audience there. Not many, but enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool talks.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the presenting in front of the audience?
First it was odd, but then it was really nice. I have met very nice people like you, yes, and get some ideas and new friends also. So it was really nice. Yes, I changed my phone number with one people. Yes. Yeah, thanks, Siina. And Parsa, you did one performance in the yard of the cable factory. Could you tell us what it was about? There was milk and a car, and am I right? Could you?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes. Well, I do not know really, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I usually try not to think because what I do is not really about anything, you know?
Yeah.
What I do is about doing that thing.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
It's just about doing that thing. Yeah. So in that sense, when I perform live, which I love the most, it's not like that I'm doing it in order to refer to a hidden meaning that my audience might read through the acts that I perform or through what I put out.
Okay.
I do a thing for the audience so they see what I do. As simple as that. So it's not about, it might have other layers. People might interpret the work in their own way, but at least I can say that it's not my intention. Not my intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are very brave. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, because I believe in that, but at the same time, I have my own reasons for choosing the score of the performance. Then, in a sense that why I use these materials, why I do this, why I do that. It might not be 100% even clear for myself, but at least I would love to go with my feeling about what I do, you know? Because recently I've been working with milk and honey a lot. And in this case, I added another element, which was a van. And I did that only because I was working in a yard, which there are so many other cars. And it's a huge place, you know?
Yeah.
It's a huge place. And I'm usually working with small objects, including a glass of milk or a jar of honey or something. But then when I have so much space, I want to do something more substantial in a sense. So I thought entering the yard with a car and then putting the car in the center of the attention, opening the door of the car, turning on the radio on the highest volume would be a nice gesture to show that there's something happening here. And then, you know, things get together, and then somehow I use the car for transporting 110 glasses of milk to the yard, and then, you know, again using honey, because if you remember, I used the honey in this case in a way that I enter the yard with the car, and then yes, I get off, I open the doors, turn on the radio on the highest volume, and then measure 1 meter from each wheel towards like behind each wheel. And so I reached to 4 spots before the 4 wheels of the car. And then on those spots, I poured a little bit of honey. And then again, I go back in the car. I turn on the car. I drive backward in a way all the 4 wheels will sit on those 4 pieces, or like on the spots that I poured honey on. So in this way, basically, I find the right position for the van to be in the space. You know? And then I open the back door. I ask the audience to join. So I give them a task, and the task is very simple, which is just putting these glasses of milk slanted, or in a sense that in a way that they lean to a wall. And then it's on the audience basically where and how they want to do that. And I just give them a help. And I treated the piece in a sense that it's a task that must be done on this day, you know. And then when I saw that everything is done, I got in the van, turned it on with no other words. I left the yard. You know, that was the score, let's say. But at the same time, if I can continue, there is
of course.
It's just my understanding about what it's just, let's put it like this. Recently I am realizing somehow that why I do these things, that when someone asks like, what is this about? I have no answer. Recently I'm realizing that I feel there is some power about these 2 materials that I'm working on. And I don't know, you might call me illusional, but I just love the presence of these specific materials in the space. You know, I personally believe that there is a glass of milk, when there is a glass of milk somewhere in a corner of a room, something changes in the world. When there is a jar of honey somewhere in the room, something changes in the world. I don't know why, and sometimes even I don't really want to know why, but I want to be a person who does that, because I think these changes that these 2 materials do to the world is absolutely positive. So I just want to be a person who basically facilitates the presence of these materials in the space, especially in a way that they get some attention from the audience.
Yes. Wow.
I don't know if it makes any sense for you, but I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that because because what I did for the show is kind of a different experiment for me when it comes to performance art as a practice. So during the opening of the Art Fair Suomi, I wanted to do something a bit different. So then people can see, like, how to say, like 2 different sides of my performance practice.
I don't know, do you like this? But I think this sounds very sweet and lovely and very warmly and kind. And 1 glass of milk can change the world. It's true. Yeah. Thank you. And Siina, I have a question for you. Do all work succeed, or do you leave work unfinished, your art pieces? What do you do?
Sorry, could you
repeat? Yes, sorry. Do all works succeed, or do you leave works unfinished?
I wouldn't say I leave works unfinished. I just leave them for a break.
Okay.
Or I just storage them and plan to think about them later.
Yeah.
So I don't think. Yeah, I don't have any. Wait, I try to remember.
You haven't.
They are not succeeded. I do have one sculpture in my studio that but I keep it, but it's in the shelf and it's on the shelf, and I probably I don't hate that even that so much because it's there and I can see it every day, so I haven't thrown it away. So
yeah.
even that piece is not a waste. But of course there's works that I don't show or I don't present to the audience, or I don't show before I have the feeling that this is ready, or it doesn't even have to be ready, but if I have the feeling that this is something I want to show, so then these pieces they just wait their moment.
Yeah. I understand.
And I also think that always the artworks don't need to be ready to presenting them. Yeah, I just need this feeling that it's okay to present it, or like it's ready to present, but it can be, I mean, the process of the artwork might be still unfinished in my mind, so I might continue the artwork later after the exhibition or showing it. And I think it's this is also one thing that if I expose some artwork and it's the same thing as performing to the audience, so that we can talk, because then if I present some artwork to the audience, and even if I'm not so sure about it's like 100% ready or great, then I will get really a valuable words about it. Comments about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you made lovely, how do you say those clay works, what you did in pots? Yes, they were really lovely, very big ones, and yeah, you are really talented. Yeah, meaningful.
Yeah, when I was planning this artwork, I already knew that the phase where I am building the pot, it will be the relaxing part and the comfortable part, and it kind of a phase where I can relax and enjoy. And these phases where I am waiting for the clay to get ready, they are the boring ones and the most challenging ones. But usually if I just have clay, if I can work with the clay, I'm usually happy. Usually if I have clay in my hands, it makes me happy and relaxed, and I can spend the whole day with it, and everything will be okay. So actually, I think when Parsa was talking about that, if there's milk in the room, somehow you feel comfortable. I think I might a little bit. I might partly get the point there, because I think if I have clay, I kind of feel like now things are okay. So yeah, maybe that's the reason why I usually I always use clay in my artworks in some way or another.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it's books and letters and words. At the time, I have 110 library books in my home. So
Wow.
yes, I love books. Yes. Okay, but let's see what I have here. Yes, this is a question for both of you. Do you have a role model, or for example, a relative who is an artist? So yes, understand the question. Do you understand my question? Yeah.
Like, you mean my favorite artist in a sense?
Yes, like your favorite artist. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I can think of an artist from Netherlands, Bastiaan Adder. You might have heard of him. He's one of the pioneers of performance art. He passed away in 1975, and he has actually, he has great pieces that I'm really impressed. Whenever I think about his works, you might have, I think you would remember his iconic piece is the one that he rides a bicycle to a canal of water in Netherlands. There's a very famous image of him, like kind of floating in the air towards the canal.
Oh.
So he's actually my favorite artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Siina?
Well, I have one name in my mind, and it's I think it's clear that he has been really inspiring for me. It's Tetching Sheikh.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, of course, yes.
Tetching Sheikh, but I don't know. Remember where he worked in New York, but I don't know where he lives or where he comes from. But he has these long, like this long-lasting performances, and he have done this kind of projects that they take 1 year, and he's they're really intensive works. And when I first time saw his exhibition in Venice, I realized that okay, this is what I have been what I have had in my mind, but I didn't know what is it, or what did I want to see, but this is something what I wanted to see and I was looking for.
Wow.
I think they are really inspiring, really strong works.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Well, our time is coming up, but what's next? Siina, you have many exhibitions right now. Would you like to tell us something about those?
That goes at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, I have one installation in Purnu art center Purnu in Orivesi at the moment in Purnu summer exhibition, and I have there this work Pääskysestä ei päivääkään, which is about the swallows. I have swallows made of black clay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's there on this summer. But actually, next I think I will have some holiday, and
Good.
I don't have any clear plan yet for what I will do after the holidays. So I think
Sounds very good.
it's kind of really nice moment. Yeah, I do have these works in my studio that they are in the middle of process, and I think it feels really nice that I can just go there without any schedules and deadlines, and I can work with them.
Sounds really nice and relaxing. Yeah. And how about Parsa? What next?
Well, yes, as I said, I'm working on this series of long-term, let's say, performances that I am planning to do for 2024. And it's kind of a very intensive piece that I'm working on, because it starts from the first day of 2024 and lasts until the last day somehow. It's not that I'm working on it every single day. It's not like a 1 year durational piece, but it's something that basically takes once a week. Let's put it like that. Once a week. So it's basically a project that is constituted of 52 performances. So one piece per week. But it needs a lot of planning. So I'm at these days I'm mainly working on these scores, because I need to come up with these ideas that how to put them together and so on, and ways of documenting them. Because then I'll do them live in the city, but then of course I'll be able to produce some sort of documentation from these performances. This is the main thing that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Some other maybe performances here and there in November.
Okay.
Mainly in November.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Something to do.
Yes.
Nice. Yes. Okay. For me, I will do a performance to Lohja Museum, and I will present it in August. And then I'm going to be a teacher again in autumn. So that is my plan. Yeah. So I really, really do thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minka.
You are so nice.
Not as nice as you. So.